And if you would, join me in the pledge.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
before we start, could we amend the agenda?
Yes, sir.
I would like to add appointment of a school board member
Uh-huh.
to the agenda.
All right. Alderman
There is a
Lynch.
vacancy on
There's
it.
a vacancy on the school board, and we normally let the alderman that represents that district recommend the person that themselves and being themselves. We look at this, and we want them to have a somebody on there that will be able to work with the other members and knows what they're doing besides what we would on a regular board. So there's been a motion to amend the agenda and add one item. Alderman Lynch, it's this item to add Mr. Tommy Colvin
Yes, sir.
as the new school board member. So,
Yes, sir.
all right. So,
Mayor, I got one question.
yes, sir.
Have you talked to Dr. Epps?
Yes, I have.
So she approved everything?
Yes.
I'm good.
All right. So, a motion's been made to amend the agenda to add, and I think we,
Can I request that we move it close to the top because his granddaughter's playing in a ball game and I'd like for him to be able to go.
and
Senior
so,
season.
I think, just go ahead, board, just, if y'all, with y'all's approval, just go ahead and put it as number 2, where he can, move on out and go see the,
Okay, number 2.
yes, sir, we'll just move all that. That'll keep us back, that'll keep us in line, on this, so,
Hey, let me ask a question.
yes, sir.
Hey Shane, was it anyone else interested in that?
Yes, sir. And I've talked to 4 different people. Well, I can give you all that when we do it if you want, but I did talk to 4 other people. There were only 2 that agreed to it, and the other one said he'd rather not if this one would. And this one also received votes during the last election. They were write-in votes, but they weren't counted because with write-in votes, you have to qualify prior to. And so those votes for him didn't count, but he did get several votes.
Great, good.
And I did talk to several people in the community as to who would be a good person for the job.
Yes, sir, and we called him as well today.
Yeah, we-
To make sure he hadn't chickened out, so. He said he was still going to be available, so, so there's a motion been made to change the agenda to add one item. This item's gonna be is,
Number 2.
number 2. Mr. Lynch said something, he pulled me off there. So at this time, so we've got a motion,
I'll second.
and we got a second. Had you already seconded, Mr. Lynch?
No, they can go ahead on.
You're good?
Marquita, what did we do? They had already seconded?
No.
Okay,
Okay,
good, okay.
all right.
We
So
don't wanna
we've
mess
got a
up.
motion and a second to add Mr. Tommy Colvin on the agenda for us to consider as a new school board member. So now, we got this meeting called to order and that changed. So if you would,
you, Board.
join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I think John's got a flag over here. It's a small one. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor Cook, would you please do the invocation for us, sir?
Yes, sir. Let's bow, please. Father God, we just thank you, Lord, that we have an opportunity today to bring this business for our city up before you, Lord. Ask you, Lord, that our minds be in you that's in Christ Jesus, Lord, that we go forward in growth and power and strength and might, and God, that our town, Lord, that we'll be able to raise our children up, and they'll be proud to be a part of the city of Humboldt, God, and go forward in business and strength. In Jesus' name we pray, Lord, for our board members tonight and our city officials. Amen.
Amen. At this time on our agenda, on our old business, at this time, do we have a motion to approve the July 22nd, 2024 regular call board meeting?
We didn't do the roll call, man.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Leon, I knew better than that. We're gonna do a roll call. We're gonna back it up one notch.
I did mess up on.
I messed everything up.
I messed up on our schedule, on how we have been roll calling, but it's all good, everybody's here. I got Alderman Tammy Porter. Here. She present. Alderman Leon McNeil present. Alderman Shane Lynch.
Present.
Alderman Jules John Coleman.
Present.
Alderman Muncie Johnson.
Present.
All here.
All right, now we're gonna get on track. At this time, do we have a motion to approve the July 22nd, 2024 regular call board meeting?
I make a motion to approve.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, those in favor of such motions do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Thank you. On our new business tonight is the second reading. For some of you all that may have got here a little late, we did have a public hearing at 5. And any questions, I feel like at the time, was answered from the audience, but some may still have some. So at this time, do we have a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 2024-06, an ordinance to rezone a 2.28 acre portion of property and adjacent of right-of-way located at the southwest corner of US 45 West Bypass in Sherry Carroll Road, owned by Timothy and Susan Lucky. This rezoning will be from an R1 low-density residential to a B2 general business.
That's 45, this is Sherry Carroll right here.
So at this time, do we have such motion?
I so move.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion?
I'm glad to see what we got from the Donnie Bunton, Planning Commission, whoever. This would have been very helpful at the
Yes.
last meeting.
Yes, it would have been very helpful to me. I was swimming without a life preserver. I couldn't tell y'all much at the time. I knew it just went to the planning, so.
But I would like to ask for the Planning Commission to develop a land use plan for the city of Humboldt so we can plan for the future, knowing what's coming about. You know, if we could put an access road down there and open all those properties up on both sides of the road, would be more than we got out there now.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be amenable to discussing this and updating the plan.
If it was in the '70s, the last time we did it, it's time to.
I found that there's been a few times over the years, I've got access to meeting reports and agendas going back 30 years, and there's been a few times it's been brought up, and they talked about it, they didn't do anything with it. So I think the last time it was discussed was 2010. I think we can do something, so, this time.
I'd like to see that myself.
And I did notice on that property, that road, Sherry Carroll went through the middle of it. It was, at one time, it was all as one. They still have the same parcel, on the same tax map parcels. So that'll change too if this board approves this.
Mayor, since,
Did you make that motion?
yeah, I did, and Julie made the second.
Yeah.
I made the first one, Julie.
All right, so we have some.
Mayor, since the planning commission have approved and he did have, I come in on it when he was talking about a site plan. I so move we move forward with this ordinance.
Okay. Well, if there's no more discussion, those in favor of such motion do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Thank you. And I'm really hoping this works out. That's a little extra tax money and sales tax. And it not being opened up to that bypass will really make it a lot safer as well. Next up, I've got Riley here, and
We got time to call them.
oh,
We'll change
Mr.
the
Coleman did, man, see there, I'm all over the place. That's gonna be on the third floor, reckon? So at this time, Mr. Carvin, come forward, please, sir.
Welcome to the principal's office.
For you all that know Mr. Carvin, and I think most of us here do, some way or another, just want to say we appreciate you wanting to be part of the school board and making decisions for our children. And so, anybody got any questions for Mr. Carvin? I hate to put him on the spot, but you know.
I'd like to tell you that Tommy's a 49-year educator. He served as a classroom teacher, was principal here, basketball coach here. Crockett County was basketball coach there. And
Assistant principal.
assistant principal. He's done it all and seen it all.
I was ready to go on. Can I just say real quickly?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate the opportunity, Mr. Lynch. I've been looking for something to get involved in, but I don't want a job. I too appreciate, and of course, Dr. Epperson and I go way
Yeah,
back, and I
yes.
look forward to working with Mr. McNeil and Mr. Johnson, and hopefully making the Humboldt school system.
Yes.
I will be a positive voice for the school system
Yes.
is my goal.
Yes, sir.
And I want to do that.
Well, we
So-
call you today, and we was hoping you would say yes, so.
Well,
but that
I
wasn't-
wanted to, and
Yeah,
I appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate you moving this up like this.
Yes,
'Cause
yes.
My granddaughter's just gonna be a senior once. and
That's right.
So,
So, if there's no more discussion, we're gonna do a motion. And at this time, do we have a motion to approve Mr. Tommy Carvin as the next school board member?
So move.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion, board?
No, Mayor, when you.
One second, okay? Mr. Leon, no disrespect whatsoever, but you serve on the school board, so you might want to recuse yourself from making that motion,
Where you right to?
just to keep things on the up and up.
All right, we got a motion.
got a motion.
Mr. Bonnie Johnson?
Yes.
Got a motion, and so we'll just retract that. And so,
Julie was the second.
Julie was the second. So, is there any more discussion?
Yeah, when you gonna swear me in, man?
I'll swear him in. I don't know when y'all's
you
next
just
board meeting is.
tell me when.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's
just
give
tell
it
me.
Dr.
I'm
Epperson.
fairly
Yeah,
flexible.
Yeah, give it Dr. Epperson.
Yeah,
I'll swear
yeah,
him in.
I'll do the swearing in, if
Just
you'd like.
let me know.
And so, if there's no more discussions, those in favor of such motion to accept Mr. Tommy Carvin as a new school board member, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Appreciate it.
all right. Now we gonna get back on that. Where's Miss Riley at? Now, look, I told her don't be nervous tonight. She's a smart young lady. She knows what's going on. So we won't really, need a motion, for this discussion. I just wanted, Mr. Leon had, sent me a request for an update on this. I got Miss Riley here, and she's, right now is running our dog facility. And you want to just approach the board and just tell us where you're at, and then you're going to have a little help here from Mr. Jake Winters in the back. He's our TLM engineering, from TLM Engineering. So I think between those two, y'all can ask him just about anything that would get you answers for the night.
I think it'd probably be better if you started and kind of gave an update on TLM. We moved the project to TLM because we needed a stamp to get it done, is that right?
Yeah, some engineering.
Engineering
yes.
stamp.
Uh-huh.
So he took it over and kind of saw what he could do, so.
Yes, so I'm Jake Winters. I'm a civil engineer at TLM Associates. We have architects on staff. So the mayor and Raleigh presented us the drawings that y'all kind of tentatively looked at, knowing that they would require a licensed architect to stamp. And just kind of the general discussion with some of the people in our office, architects and other engineers, we felt like the funds didn't necessarily match the scope of the project. And so I mean, there's a couple of different options, depending on how y'all would like to approach that, but, you know, as far as cutting the scope, the size of the building down, or, you know, whether you take a look at additional funds somehow. It's kind of where we're at. We can get into whatever specifics y'all would like to address, or any questions y'all have.
Do you have any kind of temporary drawings that we could look at, or what have you decided about less dog kennels, or more dog kennels, or?
Right, so I mean, I guess the question kind of comes down to, with the amount of money that's available, is that even an option? And frankly, the way I look at it, I don't think there's a serviceable building that we could produce for, I think the amount was $250,000. And that's just my opinion, and I guess that's kind of up to y'all to see. I mean, you're talking about an 800 square foot building, which is, you know, I don't think that would service the needs that were being shown. So, I guess before any further discussion, you know, we would kind of need some type of a agreement, or, you know, something along those lines to move forward with the more thorough design.
Yeah, Alderman Lynch.
That's not a plan for this.
No, that's plan something else. But when we started this plan, now correct me if I'm right, Riley, you did get in touch with Alderman Lynch, y'all was working on it.
Yes, sir.
Then all of a sudden it come up there with engineering. The architect was already involved.
No, there's not an architect involved. We talked to a gentleman about doing us a drawing
Drawing
for it.
okay.
And we didn't know at that time that she or I, neither one knew, that we had to have an architect's signature. We did give a copy of it to a local architect, and then I think you may have talked to some other folks too.
And that drawing was more of a wish list. It was really, I mean, it was.
I never did see it.
It
so
was
I don't
just, it really was nice.
Yeah, I did, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
sorry.
nice. And it-
You gave all of us a copy.
Yeah,
So,
everybody
so
knows.
when we got off in it, using that footprint, and we tried to put the money toward it, and that's when we turned it over to our engineering company. And y'all even dropped the things out of it, like kennels, and just try to get it as low as you could price-wise.
Well, typically, you know, if we're a little bit closer together, as far as the scope and the price, we can start scaling back. But I think where we're at right now is we're so far apart, you know, you're looking at probably a quarter of what you need to actually, for the plans that I've seen. So that whenever you're so far apart, to scale that back, I don't know if there's a usable building that we could actually construct for that amount.
For the
What type of
250.
building you talking about building anyway? I mean, what type of building you talking about going up with?
I mean, what we were looking at, I mean, this is a, you know, it's
Metal?
It's a metal building on the exterior, probably have some, concrete block with wood truss, you know, something relatively, inexpensive, but, given the nature of the facility, I mean, you have to have, there's additional things, it's not just a structure, you have to worry about drainage, as far as, you know, if you're washing out the kennels and all that. And I'm not an expert on an animal shelter. We would have the architects, you know, take a look at that a little bit more in depth.
So you saying $250,000 ain't gonna make a move on it? We got the land, I'm saying we got the property. We can't even get started for $250,000. That's what you telling me? This board.
Right, yes, sir.
Well, how much money you talking about starting with then?
For what I've seen, you're looking at, I mean, if you, again, it varies a lot with, you know, the finishes and everything that you go with, but at minimum, probably $200 a square foot. So that was a 3,200, 4,000 square foot building. So, and that's just for the building. That doesn't include any site work, any design fees, or anything like that.
Fencing outside, or
Anything like that.
But, board, we had talked, Riley and I had talked to Jake about this a week or two ago, and we was hoping that, you know, scope would fit the money, and we seen it wouldn't. And so, we thought, well, what's an alternative? You know, is there anything we could do any different? And so, Riley talked to Lashley Rich, and you got Greer. You want to just address the board on on what you and Greer had talked about.
Okay, so this was just last week, so I don't have much of an update for y'all about that, but Greer did come out and he looked at the facility we had. What he did do was he took the plans, because if we did end up doing any kind of renovating or anything, he wanted to see if there's anything they could do where we're at and just add on to accommodate our needs more based off of, for example, like the mayor said, that was more of a wish list, like add the things that we need to be a little bit closer to that and further away from where we're at. And he's got those plans and he's still looking over at it. I did try to call him today, but I think he might have been busy. But once I have an update on how that's going, I can provide that.
And maybe,
So he's looking at keeping it in that $250,000 area.
Right. And that would entail staying on the site we're at.
Well, I still ain't heard nothing about what the actual price of engineering and stuff, cause what we were told is that we needed this engineering seal or something on this stuff, and we're finna go through the same thing with the library. This seal was such a big deal for this thing, and engineering, I didn't know we had to go through the engineering deal with the engineering
It's
to
because
get
the
the seal and
project
all that. I thought we had to pay for that seal and get them to look at these plans and move forward. Now, I'm for moving that dog pound out there, and breaking that ground out there and get started on it. I believe we can move forward with it. I don't think we gotta have an 800-900 square building. I mean, we can get started on it, get it going right now. We can still add on to it, make
Right.
reservation, add on to that building.
That's right.
So have you looked at that? Is that an option?
As far as,
$250,000, a lot of money to sit up here and say that ain't no money.
it is, but whenever,
But you still ain't gave me no figures. What type of figures you talking about?
As far
If
as
it's $250,000, yeah,
Yeah,
what did you tell her the actual cost for, put a building
for the
out there?
building that I was looking at, you're between 800 and $1 million.
TCA code 62-2-107 requires an engineering stamp.
I go along with that.
You know.
I mean,
I was just gonna let you know
understand
that's
that.
why
I understand
we didn't
that.
have that.
But that's for a certain size building that you looking at, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's.
But I know at
the
one
building.
time, y'all had looked at some buildings, right?
Oh,
Some
we looked
shelters.
at a lot of them, yes, yes, sir.
That was smaller than what he talking about, wasn't it?
It's hard to say.
It is.
Yeah, this isn't, what we're trying to build is not some grand mansion of an animal shelter. It's a basic animal shelter. It's just, we've never had one of those here, so it's gonna be expensive to get it started.
Yeah, I mean.
We need to spend this $250,000.
Yes, sir.
We need to get started on something.
We do, that's why I went ahead and I kind of talked to Greer with them, just so we can do something. And I mean, we haven't closed this door yet either. I mean, me and the mayor have been looking into grants too, to see if there's anything we can do to, I think we mentioned maybe half the building. What was it, like around 500 we kind of thought, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, if you scaled it's not quite proportional, scaling it down, because the smaller you get, still, the price per square foot stays the same, or if not, goes up a little bit. But I mean, you're still looking at probably a $500,000 to $600,000 building, even if you just cut it in half. And then, I'm not sure if that really that does anything different than what y'all have now. It increases your capacity at all.
No matter how you feel.
Alderman McNeil, Riley and I, when we met last week with the bad news, and it was good that you sent the letter, say I want to update, because we
Yeah.
needed to
We
update.
need to update, yeah.
We do have somebody here in town that's going to leave money for dog and cat facility. We don't know how much.
Cat facility.
And, so while Riley and I was talking about the money, we called a couple of times the lady, and I've called and left message for her to call me. It'd be wonderful if she says, this lady would say, hey, let's just let's talk about this now. She don't have to pass away. So we are trying to find that route as well. But we found out a proper dog facility, I won't say cat, but a dog facility is very expensive. And we still got time. Maybe we can get a hold of this lady, and wouldn't it be awesome? She may not be The money may not be as large as I'd say, but, we can still, we got time, you know, we don't have to have our scope, for the project until December. It's gotta be, it's pushed up. It was October, now it's December, and we just have to have the plan that we're gonna do, so, in December. So, we can, still, just keep moving forward, and, before we, try to spend any money on the old pound. Of course, y'all would have to approve that, but, I don't like it being there either. And, the money run out, you know, 250 is just not enough to get us much.
Let me ask the question. Have you ever thought about doing it in stages, like do part of it?
That's a possibility, yeah, I mean, when you're starting out, you're looking at probably just maybe an office building and some, you know, there's not much, but yes, that's an
Right.
option, yeah.
And we could look at that, you know, the square footage of the building, just the building itself, you know,
The building
just
itself
say
that when we looked at was right around 4,000, that's not.
4,000 square feet.
It was 40 by 40, wasn't it? 40 by,
That much, right?
40 by something.
We could look at, taking the money, minus engineering, which is not a whole lot, and, actually and build a building, you know, on that property, and then we finish it out as we go.
I would.
Building like a shell and then coming in. And
Yes.
Yeah, I would recommend just going to start building the building out there. We got the ground and get somebody to start pouring the slabs and all that, man. I'm for making a move on it, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, board, we'll go back to the drawing board, and, with,
I guess what would be
Jay?
helpful for us is if we know for sure that the amount is 250,000 and there's really no flexibility with that, then we can come up with a design that provides you, or what we
A
think will
building.
meet that.
Well, see, what we did, we voted for $250,000 to be turned over to a dog pound.
Right.
So ain't no flexibility to that money.
Right.
And another 250 here and $200,000 here. So, unless, what did you say your name was?
Riley.
Riley, that's
Riley.
Riley. That's Miss Riley.
better know my name.
Yeah, I know your name, I couldn't talk, I'm trying to talk with your name
You're
too, at the
okay.
same time, Miss Riley. And the mayor, unless they come up with something different. But ain't no lien on this money right here, see?
Right.
It's already, it's ready to be used, ain't it, Mayor?
Yes, that's money's there. Well, board, would y'all like for us to, would you like for us to, just go ahead and let Lashley Rich, see what they're gonna plan? And then, we'll try to have you something, maybe by the 26th board meeting for y'all to look at and discuss. If you want to go this way, we'll go that way. If you want to go that way, we will, because we know the money. We know it's 250. And so I think it'll help us out to see what it would cost to get a building built.
And we're saying just a shell.
Yes, sir. But it would, yes, that's right, I don't want to confuse that, but just a shell, a slab with a shell. You want to look at that, and then my suggestion was, Jake, you just keep looking at that there. Ms. Riley, just get with Greer and them, just see what kind of plans they've got. And then we can bring it back to the full board to say, hey, I think we need to go this way.
And who knows, might get a little extra money somewhere, you know?
That's
like you
right.
were saying.
Yeah, that's right. We may have.
If y'all find anything, if you see any grants that you think might apply, this is a community project, so it might apply, find anything. I've been looking, but a lot of stuff is closed right now. But if you find anything, send it my way and I'll look into it.
Okay. Board, got any more questions? We'll bring you back something, and if Jake and Riley can get it done on the 26th, I think we'll be able to get an answer for that. All right, thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
on our next discussion, Jake with TLM has here for any questions about the West Side Drainage Project. And so, Mr. Leon, you'd asked for an update on that, Board. And so I had talked to Jake this week, and I just asked him to come tonight with any questions that y'all may ask. So, Jake, the floor is yours.
Jake, we right back at
I'm
it.
back here.
You back again. Jake, one of the things we're going through, we've been having a lot of issues with this west side drain system. And once again, we got $250,000 of work with it. Now, well, and I did ask the mayor to put this on the agenda, and he did tell me, he kept his word, I think, appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
That he was gonna discuss
Yeah, we
this
needed
stuff,
this
'cause we
update.
needed to know what was going on. Where are we at with the west side project, and what we need to start doing to get it rolling?
Right. So, talking with the mayor, my understanding is, like I said, you have 250,000. What we can provide is basically just a map showing the areas that could be replaced, what we think is feasible with the 250,000. We could get a contract in place for us to do the design work, and there would need to be a survey as a part of that. And then, you know, we could bid it out, the city would bid it out, we can turn those plans over, or we can assist in bidding that project.
Would $250,000 be enough to work that project?
Well, the good part is that's, you know, there's no like fixed, you know, you can do as much as you want or as little as you want,
Right, I
right?
got you.
And so the way we do design and how we bid the project, we can, you know, if prices fluctuate a little bit or you get a competitive, right now it feels like the contractor's pretty competitive on their pricing. So, we can put alternates in that bid, or however y'all would like to do it, to where we make sure we get as much as possible, you know, in that project.
Now, did he go down West Maple Street?
Yes, he's,
When he
Mainly
started
on
that?
Maple.
yeah, West Maple, that's right.
Yeah, we did get a bid, didn't we? She mentioned the bid we already had, I forgot about that bid.
Well, we got two and
But they said there wasn't no seals.
That's right,
they
you
didn't have
know.
engineering seal.
It was,
So we just need a seal for that bid, we already got a bid.
oh,
That bid was more than 250, wasn't it?
those bids were, the money was $250, and just me thinking, one bid was closer to $400,000, and of course, we didn't accept that bid.
Okay, so from Maple, from Sixth, I think, man, correct me if I'm on, from Sixth on Sixth, right there, Sixth will feel, West Maple kicking and going down to just at Maple Street on both sides, right?
That's right.
Okay.
We'd like to start up at Seventh Avenue, there closer to the railroad track.
Right.
Well, not Seventh, I'm sorry. It's up close to Seventh, we can get it, and then go west. Just west, cleaning out ditches, putting in new culverts. It would be nice if we had a little paving money left on that bid as well. But I talked to Jake, Friday to ask him to be here, and he says he feels like that he could have something for you all to consider on the 26th as well. Just nothing overview, and that's one of those jobs, after you get all the bids and all, it can start, and you could start in plenty of time as well. So Jake was gonna have y'all something drawn up for you to consider by, you feel like you could
Yeah,
get
we
something.
can. And just to be perfectly transparent, you know, the budgets that we come up with, they're just budgets, they're just cost estimates. That's not, you know, contractors fluctuate their pricing depending on materials, how, you know, sourcing, all that. So we all know that, but, you know, this is our best guess. It's a fairly educated guess.
Yeah. And y'all have done something like this in Union City, this is normal stuff, you know? Yeah, and it was good to hear that too, that they've done, this would not be something new for them. And so, Board,
So it's at the starting place for me, you've been down there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I tell you what, Jake said he felt like he can come up with something for the board to address, look at by the 26th as well. So, gonna make Jake work hard between now and the 26th. So, If there's no more discussion, board, thank you, Jake, for being here.
I do have a question. What do them seals run you, though? For y'all to put that in that, snap that thing in that seal, what do it cost you?
Well, it's not really just the seal, because we have to do the design, we can't just seal someone else's design.
Yeah.
But it varies on a project like this, it's usually, I'm trying to think, probably 6 to 7% of the construction, cost. It is typically somewhere there.
Okay.
But you want it designed right.
Right, I want this thing.
Well, and that's a, you know. if-
You don't
if
need
somebody's house
all the
floods,
codes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna knock on my door if
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
house floods or
I
something.
feel
like
you.
that.
I got you, all right.
That's
Maybe
sir.
bring back 26 or something.
Yes, sir, we're gonna have both, we should have y'all some answers on both of those. So, all right, thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
On the next one, board, Mr. Leon,
Jake, don't run off. We got one more.
No, that's,
you're through on public
Oh, you got
projects.
the
You're
seal,
good.
sir?
We got another engineer on that one, Mr. Leon.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jake.
you're good to go.
You good to go, thank you.
All right, see you 26. We go. Maybe put it down, bring it back 26.
Yes, sir. We'll make sure we have that. I've got enough pressure on them. They'll be back. So at this time, our next discussion is the public library. And Mr. John Blankenship, board would like to just sort of, I think you've got us a drawing here. What?
Yes, Mayor, that's part of the 35-page packet, but that's so y'all can see what the size of the building is, where things are going, the bathroom, closet space, little kitchenette. It's roughly 1,800 square feet on the west side of the building.
And this is for the Children's Library Edition. And Mr. Doug Short is the engineer that's working this project.
That's correct.
Right. And I think y'all may have, y'all moving on it. This is probably, out of these three projects that this one's moving probably the fastest because it already had some engineering.
Yeah, we've got a site plan that's gotta come before the planning commission this week, so once that's
Yeah.
approved, then it's ready to go back to our construction manager, Lashley Rich, and then they'll start bidding out the project. So hopefully within a month and a half or so,
Yeah.
we'll have some bids back, maybe close to.
And you have some other monies besides this to
Yeah,
help
we've got a
that
total of
project.
715,000 in cash, including money to 200,000 from the ARP.
Yeah, that's good. But I think it's moving pretty good. We had get one of the drawings had to get a little updated last week.
Yeah, we changed a couple of things on it.
Things,
It's
and
ready
so,
to go now.
do you feel like it's moving now?
Yeah.
Yeah, moving good. Like I say, with Doug Short, the engineer, the engineering had already started on this before the board approved the 200,000. Do you think you'll get that 200,000 ARP money spent before or allocated before December
Absolutely.
31st?
We got his engineering fee and architectural fee that's ready, that invoice is ready to be submitted, it's roughly 35,000.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's ready to be submitted to your office.
Okay, that's good.
So we're on track to spend it, everybody understands when that part's due.
This building will match, the exterior will match what's already there. It'll still be brick and those type things.
Interior of that room, it'll be brick exterior concrete blocks on the inside, and then we're going to line it with a drywall type surface, so you can hide more cables easily behind it than burying them in concrete.
Well, John, you know, I called you. You know, I called you.
Yeah, we got some-
Over the election. And I had run into some people who were very curious about losing the money
Yeah.
and making sure it moves forward.
Everybody understands when this 200,000 needs to be spent by, so that's why this has got to happen in a very timely manner, pretty fast.
So I'm glad to see y'all move forward.
It's
Just
taken
keep it
10 years
like
to
that.
get to this point, so it's real and it's happening, we're excited to be able to serve the community more.
Anything gonna help our kids and serve the community and be a blessing to our kids to help them, I mean, I'm all for it, you know that.
And once this addition is built, the old children's library space, which is about 1,200 square feet, that becomes a community room, so if folks want to use that space, that's another room that's available for the public to use.
It's good.
Good, thank you.
All right, board, any more discussion? Mr. John, while he's here? All right, thank you, John, appreciate it. I know y'all doing a lot of good work up there. Got my paperwork out of line here. Next up for discussion is the CSX Front Street parking lot area. This request also was from Alderman McNeil, and the subject is hiring an attorney, hiring attorney Randy Camp regarding this matter. So, Alderman McNeil, you want to take off with that?
Mayor, Board of Aldermen, ladies and gentlemen of the public. One of the reasons I got involved, wanted to have this discussion was, first of all, for everybody to know which way we're going, from the dog kennel to the library to the west side drainage. All right, this issue with this CSS is causing a lot of problems, a lot of problems. I don't have an answer for it. I wasn't a part of it, so I don't know much about it. When people jump my butt, you know, this, that, you sit on the board, you just, because we sit on the board, that don't mean we know exactly what's going on with all this stuff going on around here. And that people need to understand that. Then you start criticizing and pointing fingers like everybody got something to do with it. So, Mayor, I'm just being real with all of y'all. I'm tired of hearing about it myself. And that's the reason I say it. Let's get a lawyer, then that way maybe somebody can come to the board and give some people some answers when they ask questions. I can't answer nothing that I don't know nothing about it. And I think a lot of us been getting hemmed up that way. When people ask us, we can't give them a straight answer, but they say, well, you're on the board, you should know. That's not biblical. So I want to try to get it out in the open, but let's get us an attorney. Let him come and let them work on this, and let the chancellor court deal with it and the judge and deal with it. Then that way, we all have some answers on it, America. I don't have no answers. And I said it's on the board. I mean, I don't know if it's a board member on the board got some answers about this CSX railroad stuff. I wasn't a part of it. I don't know nothing about it. I know more about the railroad now than I ever learned about that railroad since all this happened. I have got educated on this railroad business here, you know. And the sad part is, Mayor, you know the sad part about it? I'm just gonna tell it like it is. We care more about apartment like when we do our school, $500,000, several $100,000 auditorium that the taxpayers and paid several $100,000. It's sitting up there falling down. We can't get nobody to come to the school board and meet.
Look here, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this railroad.
Well, this railroad too.
Let's talk about that school deal, lady. We talk
Well,
about
the
the railroad
too. That's the reason I'm talking about
Well,
the law.
we talking about this
I'm talking
railroad.
about
We
that
ain't talking
too.
about no school.
I'm
We
talking
talking
about
about
that
this
too.
railroad.
I'm
Respecting the customers
I'm
down
talking
there.
about the $700,000
Well, you talking about that
being
some
spent.
other time. We talking about this railroad.
I'm talking about that too.
We talking about the railroad.
Let's stay on topic.
We
Let's
talking
stay
about
on
the railroad.
topic.
Stay on
Stay on topic.
Don't try to
I'm-
change the subject. We
no,
talking about the
no, I'm
railroad.
just saying,
You should
parking
have brought
lot.
that up some time ago. We talking about
I've
the
been
railroad.
bringing it up. I'm still bringing it up.
Well, let's talk
I'm
about
still
the
bringing it
railroad.
Let's stay right here on
I'm
the
talking
topic.
about school.
I'm still bringing it up.
CSX
I'm still
Railroad.
bringing it. I'm talking about what
Front
the
Street.
board is involved in with $700,000 worth of building sitting up there we ain't doing nothing with.
That's a
and ain't nobody
different-
saying nothing about it.
Let's take care of one thing at a time, and right now it's CSX Railroad and Front Street.
Nobody
Let's-
wants to talk about that.
Alderman McNeil, on this subject here, of hiring an attorney,
Well, whatever the board want to do, I mean, I'm tired of fooling with it and hearing about it because we ain't got no answers.
have you talked to Mr. Camp and asked him if he was willing to
Mr.
do
Camp,
something?
I said he would be willing to do, if we approve him, he would. That's what he told me, unless he had changed it. I hadn't talked back with
I haven't
him in a
either.
couple of weeks ago, man. I hadn't talked back with him.
The board give me some direction and we'll move forward with.
I say we can take a vote, get us an attorney. If Mr. Camp don't want it, we'll get somebody else. Just take a vote on us, hiring an attorney to sell this railroad deal. Mr. Camp, Joe Bird, anybody.
That's the reason I put it on the agenda, to get some closure on about this railroad. Cause we ain't going nowhere with it. So let's get our attorney involved. Mary, you can reach out to Lawyer Camp, I'll reach back out to him, it ain't gonna make no difference. Just reach back out to him and see if he interested in it, and let him go with it and see what we come up with. That way, when people do come back up here to the board meeting, maybe we have some closure for when people ask you about it or whoever, let the attorney or the judge wanna tell them what was going on with different stuff, then that take the pressure off of us.
Oh,
Cause we can't fix this problem, it's bigger than we are.
Ms. Porter, Board, Ms. Porter, had suggested, for us to seek out an attorney. If it's not Mr. Camp, it needs to be somebody. And so, we can turn this discussion into a motion if y'all would like, for us to seek out an attorney. If it's not Mr. Camp, it will be an attorney, to give answers on, what we need, for the CSX Railroad, in Front Street, so.
I just wanna ask, since we've already got down here to hire Attorney Randy Camp, do we need to speak to him first before we
No.
do a motion to hire somebody else? I'm just asking, I don't
Can we
know.
make a motion to vote for Randy, and if he doesn't want, we can vote for someone?
If we offer it to
If Randy
him,
don't want it, we'll get somebody else. We need to move this forward because.
I agree.
We got people down there losing money.
I agree.
We hurting down there on that block. We need to go and get this started.
we do.
Don't make no sense.
I want the same thing about the
Well,
other
well,
building.
well,
I want you to say the same thing.
Don't-
Building
look.
tenant.
Put it on the board agenda at the next meeting.
It's gonna be on there, and I want the same
well, you
response.
do the same thing at
I'm
the
gonna put
school
the same
board.
response. I have,
This is
but
not
I
the
ain't been
school
getting no
board.
help.
But that's not our fault. That's not our
It don't
problem.
matter. We the city put money in there, we spent over $2 million.
Right now, we're on the CSX
We
discussion.
talking about
of
the
Front
train, right? We ain't talking about no school. We
I'm
talking
talking
about
about
the
that parking lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on CSX Front Street, let's take
Okay.
care of that.
All
I'm
right,
talking about the parking lot.
Board, do we have a motion?
I so moved.
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second. I will, I or you all can, reach out to Mr. Camp, if he's not, don't want to.
You all that.
I talked to
I'm
Mr.
going out
Cameron.
of town.
I reach out to him. I reach out to
I'm
Mr.
fixing to go out of
Cameron.
town Monday.
All right, and so, we do have, we have an attorney that we use through all of our lawsuits, through our, public entity partners, anytime, Mr. Michael Hill, and, he, probably knows as much about, municipal law as anybody. And I can reach out to him as well. He's the one that's been guiding us through some of our issues lately anyway. So, we will,
Now,
ma'am,
as far as an attorney, if Mr. Camp don't wanna handle it, we'll find somebody. We'll get somebody. We'll
Well,
find somebody.
well, if you find somebody, it's gonna have to come toward this board.
Yeah, it will.
Because,
It will.
they usually, charge $220 to $300 an hour,
Well,
and,
we got it.
that's.
City got it.
Well, Mayor, the vote is to hire Camp, and if he turn it down, I reach back out to you, about it. I will get in contact with Camp, myself about this thing, cause he did tell me he was interested in it.
Okay,
So, and if he turn it down, I'll let you know he turned it down, then we'll move forward.
okay, and if he don't, I'll be seeking out an attorney myself. At this time, do we have we have such motion, we have a second, any more discussion?
That motion is to offer the job to Randy Camp.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's just do one at a time. All right, so, all in favor of such, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, for putting it on the agenda.
Yes,
All
yes,
the stuff.
all that needed to be discussed. Uh-huh.
So Leon, you're gonna check with him and the mayor is also,
I'm
or?
gonna check with him, and I'm gonna pass it on to the mayor.
Yeah,
That If
and
he
I'll-
accept the
I'll
job,
also
if
will
he
be-
accept it or don't accept it, I will inform him either way.
And I'll also be looking for an attorney. Y'all will have to approve such, because it's quite a bit of money. At this time, do we have a motion to approve the Humboldt Municipal Airport Funding Agreement?
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second it.
All right, we got a motion and a second. I moved it on, didn't I? This is, I'm really proud of this agreement, and finally, some stuff's gonna get done out there. We really need that obstructions done, and our airport board, along with Mr. Hadley is moving this forward. And so we got a motion and a second. Any discussion, board?
Mayor, I'd like to ask for Benson Hadley, who works with Barge, who is a consulting company that's working for the airport, to give us an update of all the things we're looking at and possibilities for the future. And
Thank you.
Mr. Hadley,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm sort of excited about it when we save money. But didn't our original cost to the city has been
Yes,
reduced?
yes,
So
it was
that's
reduced. We went back and looked at some things that we hadn't accounted for when we initially started talking with the state, found some ways to trim a few things, so it did come down. So since then, the state has carried out their capital improvement plan meetings with every airport in the state, and they've also had a general meeting. Julie and Shane attended those meetings, and the state has come up with the projects that they're gonna fund this fiscal year for the city of Humboldt. And so I'm gonna pass this out for you guys to see. This is what, this fiscal year that they have put on their slate that we'll be coming back to talk about at a later time. But the things that I'd like to point out to you guys is, moving forward, right now, the federal government did their appropriations for the next couple of years at 95%. So instead of 5%, y'all are now gonna pay 2.5%. The state will pick up 2.5%. So roughly, throughout this fiscal year, we've got $155,000 worth of projects that they've estimated, which can fluctuate a little bit, but that's at a cost of $4,800 to y'all. So, as we move through this first project and get everything identified, we'll be coming back to talk about the removal of the obstructions and where they are, and what we found out and how we've negotiated to get those removed. And we'll bring that before you guys. That's project number one. And project number two is they have gone ahead and slated the initial design and environmental for the taxiway. The taxiway's coming apart, and the state's willing to go ahead and start the design on that. The construction would not be until the following fiscal year, just because they've got to schedule out their funds as well. So, like I said, this is what they're willing to fund this year, in addition to what you just signed. So, this should all be all that y'all should be concerned with as far as airport. And it's a good deal with 95% this year.
And we got that signed today, or
correct.
this week. And I had discussed with Mr. Hadley as well. We hadn't been communicating very well, my office, along with Barge and others. And we got so many email addresses, and then they all got changed, a year or so ago. So we still got email addresses that belongs to Click One. So maybe we talked about in the future, we'll communicate better, get those email updated, and you can send them to, I think Miss Alicia is working good with her. She just forgot to hit send the other day, and but we got it. And so
I'll attach everybody in Humboldt if you want.
yeah, and so you can text me, her, just anybody. If something don't look like it's moving, just let me know. I mean, because I'm sometimes it's not moving for me. But anyway, we discussed that earlier, and we'll do a better job, Mr. Hadley, on communicating. All right, board, so that saved us a little money there on that, and we appreciate it. I can't wait to get those trees. Them trees has been an issue with us, unbelievable, for at least 11 years.
Do we need a motion in a second for that funding deal, or?
You can, it's, the estimates could fluctuate a little bit. So you could approve them pending they stay close to this or stay on track with this. And then if we find something different, we can bring it to you.
Okay, because we'd already approved
Yes, the
$6,000 and
original
something dollars
cost.
on the first one. So.
All right, I think that'd be good because the approval was on the first funding. And so I'm gonna try to get my words right here to make this.
These two are in addition to the one that y'all already signed.
All right, so since this has changed, do we have a motion to approve the municipal airport funding change?
Make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor of such, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, and I think that's
We're gonna be starting
$2,000, it
They're
was like
already
68 now,
Already started.
Well, these are in addition to the 6,800.
yes, so,
One thing that we do need to do is notify the state that y'all are in agreement with these projects. They had asked to be notified by last Friday, but there is fluctuation in that, and I knew y'all would have a meeting that would correlate with that. So I'll send Alicia a email tomorrow.
Yes.
Just for y'all to kind of forward on and say, hey. we're in
just forward on to
agreement
them. Okay, that worked out well. Yeah, I think we got I think we've got our communications doing better. We got a new financial director, we had new email addresses, and
no phones now.
and no phones. We've been all over the world. We're about to get them back going again. All right, thank you, Benson.
Thank you.
And if there's anything that myself or our staff can do, just let us know. We'll get after it. So, at this time, it's an honor for me to ask for a motion to approve Municipal Airport recommendation to reappoint Board Member Ms. Julie Crenshaw. Do we have such a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to approve.
Y'all want to make her nervous and ask her questions or
I'll second
anything? We got we got a motion, and who seconded?
Seconded.
I would like to state that she currently serves as the chairman for the airport board, and this would be her second term on the
Yes,
board.
that's right. And this one lasts 5 years. So be sure to come see me at the nursing home when you get through. So, any discussion, board? If not, those in favor of such motion do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Thank you for wanting to serve again. Got Julie. All right, board, up next is, do we have a motion to approve the July 2024 police report?
Make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, those in favor of such motion do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Now, up tonight, we have 2 police officers here. Where they at? We don't want to make them too nervous, you know. Y'all shouldn't be nervous. If the girls can do it, y'all can do it. At this time, do we have a motion to approve the police department recommendation to hire 2 police officers, Mr. Brandon Swift, who is Brandon Swift, and Mr. Zachary Henson. So, we'll just go to motion, and we'll go to the discussion here in a minute. So we do have such motion?
Also moved.
I'll second.
We got a, Mr. Leon, we're gonna give you a motion, and Ms. Julie, we're gonna give you a second. Is that good for y'all? Now, here's where it comes in tough now. Any discussion, board?
Mayor, I was not able to attend the initial interviewing. Miss Julie was there. She did call and give me a report on the interviewing and the due process of it. So Ms. Coleman said she was all in favor of it. So if she all in favor of it, I am too.
Okay.
It's got here that you both worked in corrections. What kind of training, or what have you done, or?
Where you work at?
Do I?
I?
Okay.
I worked for South Central Corrections Facility in Clifton, Tennessee, 2 years back.
One lives in Trenton, one lives in Humboldt, so.
Yes, Brandon's in Trenton and Zachary's in Humboldt.
Said what?
Brandon lives in, Trenton and Zachary lives in Humboldt.
Yes, ma'am.
So you currently work for the sheriff's department?
No, sir.
No, you did?
But you did it one
Yeah,
time.
you did.
Yeah.
He did do an interview.
Any more discussion, board?
He was currently there during the interview, but since they offered him that, that's when he left.
Do y'all want?
What did you do for Gibson County?
Correctional officer.
And what did you do with the Southwest, what was it?
South Central Corrections Facility. I was a corrections officer as well.
In prison.
Yes.
In the prison.
Yes, sir.
And where was that at?
Clifton,
Clifton.
Tennessee.
How long have you lived in Humboldt?
I've lived here about 1.5 years now.
All right, board. We have no more discussion. Those in favor of the motion to approve Police Department recommendation to hire 2 police officers, Mr. Brandon Swift and Mr. Zachary Hanson, do so by saying aye.
Can I,
Oh, you,
can the chief give us any information on them? I mean, we've heard from them, but we hadn't heard.
We actually go a little step further, we kind of go back into the backgrounds, and for each one of them, they were exceptional on their interviews. They did great, Julie was there.
On their PT,
These guys are pretty quick, they're very fit, very capable, they both did excellent on their testing, written testing. So we're kind of proud of these guys, they did really good. Him being from Trenton, him being from Humboldt, got a Humboldt guy, come on y'all should be happy about that for sure. So we're pretty excited about it. I am.
Yeah, they did their exercise, their running and stuff the day of their interview. They went home and changed and came right back.
I think they're two good guys.
you all right, Alderman Lane?
Yes, sir.
You good? All right. If there's no more discussion, those in favor of motion to,
Are we doing them together?
we can do them one at a time.
It doesn't matter to me.
Well, let's just do
They
it.
do both of them, right?
That's just, hey, there you go. So at this time, if there's no more discussion, those in favor, the motion to approve Police Department recommendation to hire 2 police officers, Mr. Brandon Swift and Mr. Zachary Henson, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Thank you, men, and appreciate you. This time, do we have a motion to approve the July 2024 fire report?
So move.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Let's see, I'd just like to say, Chief, I'm so proud of y'all. You got your EMT people certified and start a few weeks ago. And Magnolia Manor was very gracious to put on a ceremony for us, so we're proud of those. It's just 6 now, but you got 2 more, is that right?
We have 6 EMR.
Yeah, so I'm just really proud to say that we're moving that forward. That's our first time we've ever had such here, so. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that, Chief, but thank you. And so, is there any more discussion? If not, those in favor of such motion to approve the July fire report, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign.
Mayor, before we do the citizens' concern.
Yes, sir.
This young lady doesn't know I'm gonna do this, but we have Miss Promise Porter here, and Promise recently attended the Tennessee Arts Academy
Yes.
for the visual arts, and you were there in Murfreesboro for 2 weeks or so, or 3 weeks, and I just like to say congratulations
Yes.
for completing that, and it's quite an honor, and make Humboldt proud. And there was another young lady with you, her name was Brandon, and they both completed, and there were about 11,000 people who applied for this across the state, and Humboldt, they only take, is it 100? And Promise and Brandon were 2 of those, and it's an interview process, and it's not an easy thing to get into. You can't just pay the fee and go.
I met her at the Arts Center and saw some of your art, and it was wonderful. You're very talented, very talented. So.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you that I was gonna do that.
Yes. All right, Board, at this time, do we have a concerned citizen? Anybody, concerned citizen would like to address the board? Nobody signed in. Okay. So at this time,
So move.
Mr. Leon, you fast on the trigger on that one. So it's this time we have a motion to approve to adjourn. Mr. Leon said us adjourn.
I'll second that.
And we got a second. Mr. Lane said second.